The Great Depression, one of the darkest and greatest economic collapses in modern history. In the 1920s, people were partying, enjoying music, making money, and looking to the future with hope. But in just a few years, those same people lost all their savings, became unemployed, and ended up waiting in food lines. And this didn't happen only in America. This crisis spread across the entire world and eventually opened the door to the process that led to World War II. So how did it come to this? Let's go back to 1918. World War I had ended. American soldiers were returning home. The war was won. People were happy. There was a feeling that life is starting again. During the war, women had begun working extensively for the first time. When men returned, the economy quickly revived. Money was being made. Businesses were growing. This period would later be called the Roaring Twenties. At that time, there was a man in Detroit, Henry Ford. With the Model T automobile, he made transportation possible for everyone. With the idea of the assembly line, he sped up production and reduced costs. Cars that only the wealthy could once drive were now for everyone. People genuinely thought, "I own a car too." This system was so successful that other companies followed the same path. Radio, washing machines, vacuum cleaners, everything began to be mass-produced, and a completely new era began, the age of consumerism. Everyone wanted the newest thing, and for people who couldn't afford it, banks stepped in. Take a loan, pay it back later. At first, no one thought this could be dangerous. Life was fun. Wall Street, meanwhile, felt like a dream. The stock market was constantly rising. People were making money. A lot of it. Between 1921 and 1929, the stock market grew sixfold. Seeing these gains, everyone began to say, "Why shouldn't I do this too?" People invested all their savings. On top of that, they borrowed money. Because everyone was focused on the same belief: this will never fall. But right at this point, there was a problem. Everyone looked like they were winning, but the real economy had started to slow down. Europe still hadn't recovered from the effects of the war. Global trade was stagnant, but everyone ignored this. Everyone believed the rise would continue forever, so much so that people could buy stocks by paying only a small fraction of their real value. "It'll go up anyway, I'll sell and pay off the debt." By 1929, nearly half of consumer debt in America was being used solely for the stock market. That same year, the newly elected president, Herbert Hoover, said the following: "We are nearer to the final triumph over poverty than ever before in the history of any land." But just a few months later, everything collapsed. October 24th, 1929, panic began. People rushed to banks to sell their stocks. The market fell. It kept falling, and it didn't stop. Within 2 weeks, it lost a third of its value. Those who had invested with borrowed money were devastated. Lives were ruined overnight. But the real problem wasn't the stock market. The real problem was the banks. Banks were the institutions financing these risky investments. And when the market collapsed, the banks slowly began to collapse as well. At the time, there was no deposit insurance. If a bank failed, your money failed with it. People became anxious, and that anxiety brought down even healthy banks. The result? 1/3 of America's banks disappeared. Money was pulled out of circulation. Deflation began. People stopped spending, companies stopped investing, debts became even heavier, and worst of all, the central bank failed to intervene in time. Herbert Hoover didn't know what to do, and the public blamed him. On top of that, tariffs were increased. Trade with the rest of the world came to a standstill. What followed was total disaster. Unemployment exploded. Banks collapsed. People became homeless. And then drought hit Central America. The land was destroyed. Farmers lost everything. In 1932, Franklin D. Roosevelt came to power. "We are going to do something," he said. With the New Deal program, the government stepped in seriously for the first time. Banks were regulated. Public trust slowly returned. But the recovery was slow. The Great Depression truly ended only with World War II. Even today, we still draw lessons from this period. Uncontrolled greed, excessive optimism, and easy money. History shows us again and again, every bubble bursts. What matters is being able to recognize the next one.